Not only emotionally, but physically, it rubbed him wrong because he got into the wall. I think that Kyle's frustrated in general right now in life. He's just frustrated with racing. He's on track, frustrated.
NASCAR fans, today we're talking about Kyle Busch and the absolute madness that's been his season. From wrecks to throwing hands, Busch has seen it all this year. His frustrations are soaring high, initiating his rowdy mode. With little support from his team RCR, do you think Busch can bounce back and snag a win before the playoffs? Can he turn things around? And what's your take on his heated run-ins with Larson and Stenhouse? We are breaking down all the wild NASCAR drama. Buckle up, cause it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Kyle Busch, the two-time Cup Series champ, known for his fiery attitude and relentless drive, is having one of the toughest seasons of his career. Busch is a legend in NASCAR, topping the charts with 63 wins in the Cup Series and ranking among the top 10 drivers with the most victories. Despite such an illustrious record, this season hasn't been great for him, and it seems to be getting under his skin. Last Sunday's race also saw Busch's winless drought extend to 36 races. That ties his longest career Cup winless drought. While initially in the season he had unfortunate troubles with his car a couple of times, the last few races he had run-ins with drivers.
And a spin in turn two, and it's Kyle Busch.
And it's down. The right rears finally blew out on him. We're going to go
Kyle
backwards.
Busch becomes the next caution at lap 123.
He's going backwards, losing as little space as possible.
Kyle Busch going around in turn two is the reason for the look. There's no tire left on that right rear.
It's just wearing through all the tread down through the cords, and finally it just blows air out the cords.
Busch's season so far? A total mixed bag. He's had some decent finishes, like his top 5s and 10s earlier in the year, but the consistency just isn't there. And without a win, his playoff dreams are fading fast. Busch is feeling the heat. His Richard Childress racing team isn't giving him the performance edge he needs. This season's been a disaster compared to his previous runs. Just take a look at his standings, sitting outside the playoffs bubble in 17th place. Let's rewind to the infamous Ricky Stenhouse Jr. incident. Busch and Stenhouse tangled during the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Busch's run-in with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was kicked off by Stenhouse, and eventually he just ran into his door on the second lap, which ended the number 47's race right there. Things escalated off track between the duo with a full-on brawl.
We've got a fight going on right now between Kyle Busch and Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Those two crashed back at lap number 2. And now the pit crews are involved.
Stenhouse got a hefty $75,000 fine, and Busch walked away unscathed. But man, the tension is palpable. But before that, don't let NASCAR fade away. Your subscription is the fuel we need to keep the sport alive and thriving. Subscribe now. And let's not forget the recent Enjoy Illinois 300 race. It's the final lap of Stage 2, and here we have Kyle Busch battling it out with Kyle Larson for that all-important 7th spot. Things get heated, Larson gets loose, and boom! Busch smacks into the wall, and his day is done. One could clearly see the frustration written all over his face. Though in an incident like this, it is easy for the red mist to linger and drivers to say something in the heat of the moment. However, Busch simply said that he was trying to hold off his rival and earn stage points. Unfortunately, it still resulted in Busch's first DNF, while Larson went on his merry way to finish in 10th.
It looked like he got loose, I guess, down the front straightaway into turn 1. He was on older tires and trying to get us for a spot. Not sure what that single point was really going to mean for him, but certainly hurt us a lot because took that point away as well as the others that we'd get for the stage and then also the rest of the day. So very frustrating. We can't afford days like that. The Rebel Camaro wasn't what it was last year, but it was a top 10 car and we were going to finish there, but we're not going to finish at all.
Kyle's frustration is at an all-time high, and it's not just because of Stenhouse or Larson. The season's been rough, and we're talking 4 finishes outside the top 15 in the last 6 races. Ouch. Parker Kligerman, driver and a pit reporter for NASCAR on NBC, weighed in, saying Busch needs to focus on consistent top 10 finishes to have any shot at making the playoffs. But with 11 races to go, it's a tough climb.
I think for Kyle Busch, this team needs good days. They need top 10 days like they had at Gateway, and they need to execute on those days because it is no secret that the Richard Childress racing cars have not had the speed that they even had a year ago. When you don't have speed, then you've got to find ways to just grind out good finishes, getting stage points, and just put yourself in the best opportunity possible points-wise. And I think Kyle Busch has obviously not been in this position much in his career, where he's got to just find a way to grind out those finishes. He's a guy that, you know, if you just give him a car, more often than not, he can maybe propel it into a win, and that's something that would just lock him in, and it's no worry to make the playoffs.
Busch is eyeing that elusive win to keep his 20-year streak alive. Winning a race is the key to locking in a playoff spot, but the pressure is mounting and time is running out. NASCAR veteran Kenny Wallace is breaking down the intense battles Busch is facing.
Crowds on their feet because we see the two Kyles going at it. Kyle Busch on the outside, and that was the preferred lane all day long. I mean, this lane is big and wide, and it's way out there. It looks like you're at a dirt track. They're like, whoa, they get any higher, they're going to be in the marbles. They're going to be in Never Never Land. They kept pushing the screw higher and higher. Kyle Busch is out there, and he's driving Kyle Larson nuts. Now, here's the deal. Kyle Busch has 2 tires on. Well, here comes Larson with 4 tires. And think about it now. Kyle Busch has not won a race. He's on a winless streak, and this doesn't happen very much. He's going on every single year of his career in the Cup Series winning a race.
It's not just about the speed, but the strategy and the grit to outmaneuver his rivals.
This one here is hard for me to say. So Kyle Busch is like, I'm gonna hold him back. I only got to hold him off 4 more laps, get those stage points. All of a sudden, Kyle Busch is like, nope, bam. And all of a sudden, they're banging going down the straightaway. They get into the corner. Kyle Busch kind of squeezes Kyle Larson down. Larson loses it, right? Backs into Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch is in the wall now, knocks him out of the race, destroys his steering. But listen, this is the controversy at hand in this race. Hang on with me now. This race gets wilder and wilder as we go. We all saw the sound bites, and Kyle Busch calls himself out. Regan Smith goes interview him and goes, Kyle Busch, how did you see it? And he goes, yep, I was trying to hold him off, trying to gain some stage points, hate it for my team. You never hear an interview from Kyle Busch like that. Pretty much, I messed up. And that's it. Kyle Busch is out of the race with broken front end steering. First DNF of the year for Kyle Busch.
So, what's next for Kyle Busch? Kyle Busch has fallen outside a playoff spot after finishing 35th in Sunday's Cup race at Worldwide Technology Raceway. He's got 11 races to turn things around. He needs to find that sweet spot, get his car performing, and avoid any more costly incidents. Easier said than done, right? Busch is a fighter, and his journey to the playoffs is going to be one heck of a ride, and we can't wait to see how it unfolds. That's all for today, folks. Do you think Busch can pull off the crucial wins and find a spot in the playoffs? Only time will tell. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe for more interesting stories and updates from everything NASCAR. Until next time, keep the conversation going on Lucky Dog on Track.